Hello, and welcome to the second coming of unbelief. I have never understood the fascination in the Old Testament with looking at if your penis has been circumcised or not. To be honest, I don't get the fascination with males looking at other males' genitalia. Um, in seventh grade, one of my classmates peeked over the partition in the urinals, commented on, he compared his length to my length. Um, I don't get it. I had an English teacher friend here in Taiwan say, well, all guys in the gang shower, all guys look at each other. I never did. I honestly never did. I wasn't interested. It was not something I wanted to see. One of the craziest stories in the Old Testament has got to be the story of where David wants to marry Saul's daughter, Michal. And Saul says, okay, the bride price isn't money. The bride price is 100 foreskin, Philistine foreskins. Well, I understand Saul was hoping that David would be killed in the milieu because it's hard to kill one guy, and killing 100, chances are that you're not going to make it. And David brought back 200, double the amount. I got questions. One, how can you tell if a foreskin is a Philistine foreskin or a Jewish foreskin? Maybe David could just go around to the rabbis and get their weekly collection of foreskins. I'm not familiar with that custom. Maybe that doesn't but how can you tell the nationality, the tribal identity of a foreskin? Question two, did David surgically remove their foreskins from the Palestinians? Or did he just whack off the dog? Um, so then, quite possibly, David would have dumped a bag of dongs in front of Saul. Um, human human life seems to be regarded as nothing in the Old Testament. Now, the prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, they're all about your sin is not caring for the widows and the orphans and the sojourner. Um, but the stories that make up what people call the historical parts of the Hebrew Scriptures um, seems to have no value on anybody's life. Mine, yours, somebody else down the street. Um, I object to the story of the 200 foreskins because there's no value on human life. I think it's a stupid story. It's a horrible story. It's I learned it as a child in Sabbath school, but I wouldn't tell it to my children. Um, As I've said in previous videos, there are no tombs of any of the kings of Israel or Judah. None. Zero. We don't have David's tomb. We don't have Solomon's tomb or Ahab. Hezekiah has a historical reference. We don't have his tomb. We don't have anybody's tomb. We don't have a grave of anyone mentioned in the Bible. And that alone would give a person cause to wonder as to the veracity of the stories that were told, written down as the very Word of God. Um, I've run out of things to rant about. I really have a problem with the disregard for human life in the stories of the Old Testament. This story of the 200 Philistine foreskins being one of the very most. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.